get it. I'm gonna put the story out. Knew she was a phony and a fake.
America!
Yeah, she went up there to check the case. That's why I had her go up there. And I ain't on that case. She up there lying. I knew it.
Just want to let you guys know you left the building. So, you took off on the wild. Oh, I did? So you know.
Which are the facts?
How do you know?
Can we go in and check?
Look at you. I showed up unarmed. I showed up unarmed, motherfucker. Look at you. Stand back. Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on every single one of you!
Bobino, fuck you, bitch! Shame on you! These motherfuckers are from the FBI agent! These motherfuckers are the same ones that were in fucking Roscoe and Square Street! Bobino!
Shame on you! Wild abducting piece of shit!
So you're gonna step up to you, bitch!
Shame on you! Shame! Child kidnapping, Nazi scum! Fuck you! Get your microphone.
Bambino, fuck you, bitch! Get the fuck out of my city, bitch! You are not welcome, bitch! You are not welcome! Get the fuck out of my city, bitch! Get the fuck out of my city, bitch! These are my streets! These are my streets!
Get the fuck out of Chicago!
Get the fuck out of my city, bitch!
Child abducting piece of shit!
You can't drive, bitch! You can't drive! That's city property! You're driving
And you crossed the line! Mr. Bovino! Chicago is watching! And you crossed the line! Mr. Bovino! Chicago is watching! And you crossed the line!
Back it up! Back it up!
Mr. Bovino!
Back it up!
Chicago is
Back it
watching!
up. Back it up!
And you crossed the
Back
line!
it up!
This is what the Nuremberg trials were for, Bovino! Fuck you!
Fuck you, bitch! Fuck you up! Fuck you, bitch!
Shit! Kill yourself!
Robert, what was the message that you were trying to give to Greg Bovino there?
I said, Mr. Bovino, Chicago is watching, and you've crossed the line. What it refers to is the accountability that the courts are requiring and the people of the city of Chicago are requiring and trying to document. I'm out of breath. Sorry.
Yeah, we ran quite a ways there, and you're keeping up with a vehicle that whole way. Not the first time you've ran in the context of being around DHS agents, where they chased you down after you were trying to express yourself in keeping with your First Amendment rights. But this time, you're chasing them rather than them chasing you right after a judge in that federal courthouse puts new limitations on the Trump administration. It's a little bit of a heavy-handed metaphor, but I mean, do you feel like the power balance here has all changed?
Well, certainly in the courtroom, he has no power. The judge has the power of a federal judge. And I think she took him to task, maybe not as harshly as, some people would want her to, but in a very diplomatic way, she put him in his place and told him that he's essentially, in different words, that you've got to follow my orders. And those include 2 warnings before you use any force, wearing the conspicuous identification, and body cameras, which he admitted in court that he doesn't have a body camera, and that was a violation of her prior order.
Right, and it was so clearly demonstrated in that video clip we saw of him lobbing tear gas into protesters in Little Village from just a few days ago that really precipitated this whole hearing. I got to ask, if you had had more time, what would you have wanted to say to Greg Bovino?
You say that your agents are acting ethically, legally, and morally every day. I say you're wrong, Mr. Bovino. Debate me anytime, anywhere, with a neutral moderator. Let's have that debate. That's what I would have said.
What are some of the points that you want to make to him in a debate like that? I mean, do you think that there's any getting through to people in the Trump administration at this point?
You guys want to walk back?
Yeah,
I think if there's any chance that anybody could get through, it's the judge.
Let's get up on the sidewalk, Jim.
All right, let's cross.
It's are you still recording?
Yeah, we'll cross this.
Well, you want me to keep answering
Yeah,
or
go
wait?
for it,
Okay. So the judge said to him, and I've got some quotes, but the point she was making is that you're scaring kids, that you threw tear gas near a school with anywhere from 3-year-olds to up to 8th grade were walking near their school in their Halloween costumes, and she said you scared them, and it's not clear whether that memory, that frightening experience will ever be erased. And I think that point was so clear and stark that you're just scaring the city. This is not about law enforcement. It's about, in my words now, just an out-of-control police force that are not all wearing body cameras, whose conspicuous identification is not visible contrary to her own order, and that is a problem.
The judge there made reference in her ruling, in talking to lawyers for the Trump administration, made clear that she is willing to take away the use of tear gas wholesale from the federal government here in the Chicago area if they continue to violate her order. To your mind, are we already there? Should she have already done it?
I didn't get to hear the whole hearing. I didn't hear that. I missed parts of it. Well, here's the thing. Everybody wants dangerous, non-citizen criminals off the street. There's no debate about that. But that is not what ICE and the federal agencies are doing. They're terrorizing our communities. Everybody knows this. There's video all over the internet. You guys have your own video. But they are terrorizing our neighborhoods. And this isn't law enforcement. It's something that is part of an authoritarian regime that seems designed to just intimidate and suppress people. And that's why there's so many people out at the courthouse, out protesting, out trying to observe, what the masked agents are doing.
What'd you make of this show of force from the Border Patrol agents who came to escort Bovino out? I know that Chicago police were ready to step in to do crowd control. Security from the courthouse was here doing some crowd management. I mean, to what extent is this about sending a message? We also saw Bovino pumping his fist right before, and clearly quite performative for the camera. I mean, what amount of this was designed spectacle to your estimate?
I don't know. I don't understand what's going on. He could have left through the underground, exit. He could have been in the, unmarked vehicles. They didn't need the show. I don't understand. I'm still, quite honestly, taking this all in. I don't know if he lied to the, if it's not clear what exactly is going on. The judge is obviously concerned about the tactics and whether her orders are being followed, and they're not being followed. And it just depends on how much leeway, how much rope she's going to give the federal agents.
We just ran with you for 2 blocks as you followed this convoy of Border Patrol vehicles out of downtown Chicago. Why did you feel like so strongly? Why was it important for you to run after and continue to try and engage Border Patrol and in trying to deliver your message? Why was that important that you have to exert all that energy into it?
I'm out of shape, and I wanted to deliver, one specific message, and that is that we're watching you, and I guess the overall theme is that this isn't right, and not everybody has call it the courage, I guess, or just the tenacity to deliver a message to Bovino. That's why I just like to debate him, because he's pretty damn tough when he's got 40 armed agents next to him, and I'm an unarmed protester, and he can yell at me and have his guys arrest me, which they did. But it's a little bit different when the facts are presented, and there's a forum where people can debate, what's right and what's wrong, and I think that's the forum that he would be less comfortable in, because the facts are not on his side.
You just said that this is my last question for you. You just said that you're not in shape, yet you outran everybody here, damn near outran John and I. And you really gave those ICE agents in a previous encounter a run for their money. Here you're chasing down cars. What is your cardio routine?
I just work out 6 days a week, all cardio. But I've got an artificial hip. I've got a lot of struggles in my old age.
Well, it doesn't show. Robert, thank you very much for the time again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So there was a lot that just happened there. A lot that just happened here in the last few minutes. So I'll kind of walk you through that really quick. I'm not sure what the camera is all able to capture there, but what we had been doing was we were waiting for Greg Bovino to come out of this federal courthouse where he has just been quite scolded and taken to task by a judge. And as he's coming out, we saw Chicago police were here ready to do crowd control. Security for the building were here doing crowd control. But what comes out is a dozen or more masked agents with that had Border Patrol markings, and they marched down the street here, clearly grabbing everybody's attention, interposed themselves between the police, between the security outside the courthouse, and the people, the media and the protesters who were here to see Bovino as he came out. They interposed themselves there. Then they moved back around to this side of the building, bringing that crowd with them. Had they just not marched this way, it's very likely that at least a part of that crowd would not have followed the way they did. But again, they created the spectacle over here to a side entrance where they created a tunnel of sorts for Bovino to come out. He did. He walked up to a truck that was labeled as Border Patrol, I believe. He climbs up on the running board, pumps his fist, and gave several hand gestures towards the assembled Border Patrol agents and the other vehicles in the convoy in what really clearly seemed to be some sort of performative little demonstration here. Gets in behind the actual wheel of the lead vehicle in the truck, which is such an obvious metaphor there for his leadership here of the Trump administration's immigration agenda here in the Chicagoland area. And then they drive off. here down the street as the protesters here continuously called out that they do not want Border Patrol agents in their city, in their region here in northern Illinois. So that's what's just played out. You saw us go taking off running with some of those protesters. You heard from Robert there, who's someone we've spoken to at a number of these different demonstrations. He's been active out here in the protest community, and it was a lot to take in. So the reason Bavino was in court was he had to answer for the use of force in a number he had to answer for the use of force in a number of incidents here in the Chicagoland area, the deployment of tear gas here in some of the neighborhoods in and around Chicago, including one instance where he himself was photographed lobbing a tear gas canister into a crowd in the Little Village neighborhood just a few days ago. And that's what precipitated this court hearing here. The judge who had ordered the Trump administration to only use tear gas and a few other uses of force here in the Chicagoland area under very specific circumstances. It was very clear that these Department of Homeland Security agencies who are operating out here were just completely operating flagrantly disregarding the judge's order in this case. And so we started with the judge just reading out the entire order to Greg Bavino as if he were a child, as if he were not capable of reading the order himself, reading out to him the order that she had given, and then putting some questions to Bavino about some of the different use of force incidents, and then coming out with her ruling. Her ruling again being that federal agents, or Bavino himself specifically, will need to appear in this courthouse every day, at the end of every day, to justify the actions of his agents in and around Chicago. There's also been, the judge has also tried to get Bavino to get his agents to have identifying markers in uniform places on themselves. There was also stipulation about the agents all being outfitted with body cameras, and an order from the judge that all evidence that, or all body camera video and other evidence that the Department of Homeland Security has justifying the use of force here in Chicago dating back to September 2nd all the way through this past weekend needs to be turned over to the judge for her review to be sure that the Department of Homeland Security is following her orders that she has issued out here, trying to limit the exposure of people here in the Chicagoland area, kids, the elderly, other vulnerable groups, to tear gas, rubber bullets, pepper balls, which we have seen repeatedly deployed against largely peaceful protesters here in the Chicago area, and I'll note members of the press. I'm not immune to this. I was tear gassed right alongside of Chicago police officers and peaceful protesters in the Brighton Park neighborhood just a few weeks ago. John was there. He was also tear gassed, and he was tear gassed again out at the Broadview ICE detention facility. So some other pieces of news that have come out here in just the last few minutes that are being sent my way. I want to read off some of these to you. CBS News is reporting that some ICE officials are concerned that Border Patrol's aggressive roving arrests in places like Chicago are triggering too much backlash. Quote, "We're arresting criminals while they are going to Home Depots and car washes," one official told CBS News. And this is going along with what we heard just yesterday, reported now by a number of outlets, which is that the Trump administration has gone to at least around a dozen cities, it sounds like, and fired the ICE officers or relieved them of command in those communities, and are now going to replace them with Border Patrol officers, or Border Patrol commanders, excuse me, some of which will be handpicked by Greg Bavino, who was just here in this courthouse testifying, trying to justify why his agents are tear gassing kids. That's who's going to be picking the command structures for other cities across the country. And it looks like what we're going to see is that the tactics that have played out here in the Chicagoland area are now going to play out in cities across the country. I want to give a shout out to John, my cameraman, because You likely saw me running down the street there, keeping up with the caravan as they pulled away here. But John, of course, is behind the camera, and I was running to try and keep up with John. So he has been a real treasure and an asset to me while we have been out here in the field. He has kept me safe in a lot of really scary situations where we have come very close. Like I said, we've been tear gassed, all of that out here when we have been coming very close to these ICE agents and these other DHS officials out here in the field. He has been doing a fantastic job. So, John, seriously, man, thank you very much. My wife appreciates it, too. If you could also support us. We're on the ground here. I mean, I'll note all the other media is left. I'm still here delivering the news as it's happening. We're a scrappy outlet. You know, we punch way above our weight. We've been on the ground here in Chicago where a lot of other national media has left. They'll parachute in for a day, they'll tell a story, and they'll leave. We have been here. Run alongside with us. Give us $5 a month to keep us chasing after these ICE and Border Patrol vehicles and demanding answers from the Trump administration about their tactics that they are using here in Chicago. Go to statuscoup.com/join. $5 a month, 16 cents a day is all it goes to support independent journalism. We don't take any corporate money. We're very proud of that fact, that we're only beholden to you, everybody watching. So everybody who has subscribed and continues to support our work, thank you very much. I'll note here that the crowd has largely dissipated. We're down to just a couple of protesters and looks like 5 Chicago police officers on bicycles. So I think we're going to start to draw things to a close. This is me also giving a shout out to Colin and Jordan through the camera. If there's anything you guys need me to read off here before we end the stream, please send it to me now or let me know, because we are out of folks to talk to down here, and whew, feeling quite winded after that sprint down the street and all that craziness. And I guess I should probably take advantage of this moment to acknowledge your presence out here.
I'm acknowledging yours because I'm just so happy that you're out here properly reporting the situation. I've never met any news station that is really actually getting to the truth of what's happening here, unbiased truth.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. And I've seen you at I think a couple of demonstrations now.
I've been at No Kings. I've been at the Broadview facility. I've been in a few other locations. I try to go to family events and protests.
So, what is, can you explain like kind of the performance art that you're taking on here as part of your protest?
Well, I'm a construct. I was created to protect Chicago. I am Chicago's liberty. I've come here to fight for justice in every way I can.
And as a construct of a personification of Chicago, liberty, and justice, what would justice for Chicago look like?
You're a real problem.
It would look like Greg going to jail, going to jail for at least a life sentence after attacking children, condoning his fellows to attack children, attacking women. I get upset even talking about it, so I'll digress there, but he belongs under the prison, you know what I mean?
So then the ruling here from the judge, I assume you'll see it as a small victory, the inconvenience to Greg Bavino to have to come down here and justify force, and also maybe the larger victory of like having to put pressure, the judge putting pressure on ICE to be able to justify itself. But is that enough? Does it go far enough? Would you like to see the judge do more?
I don't know much about the legal system. I'll admit that as a citizen. I do want there to be more. I want there to be actual justice. I want there to be actual consequences for this. Him having to go talk to a judge on occasion and smooth a judge, I don't think that's justice.
So when you see the Border Patrol agents marching around the side of the building here, creating quite the spectacle, I mean, how much do you take away from that as it being like a show of force by them, or do you see it as like a good-natured, like we're just trying to protect our boss to get him out of here?
I think it's a fascist display of power. They're trying to take the power away from us. That's why we shoot them out when they came out. You know what I mean? Like, I ran up to be the people that were telling them that they're racist, fascist Nazis. They're trying to scare people, and we're not afraid.
you are clearly going out. You're saying it like this is a fascist regime. Like you're not afraid to say it. I mean, to your mind, how does America come back from this? Like, what does justice for the country look like to be able to move on from this administration? Like, how do you feel comfortable and confident in America's system of governance again after this? If as you say, like it allows a fascist regime to take hold in the United States, like what kind of reform do you need to see to again feel confident in your country?
I think we need to acknowledge that this is yet again another attempt on genocide against Native Americans. That's what Mexicans are. They're Native Americans. I don't care what name you try to give people. They were here first, and they're trying to get rid of them again. They're Native Americans. They belong here. They're more patriotic than other people I've ever met. So first, it needs to be acknowledged that this is a genocide. Taking people out of their homes in the night is genocide. Taking people in exile to other countries is attempting to kill them. It is genocide against minorities in this country.
I never caught your name.
I'm Dusty. Underneath the suit, that's my name. I'm Dusty Dunner.
Dusty, it was nice to meet you. Yeah.
Hi, what's up?
All right.
I think he's a little suited.
Yep. All right. So, Donald Trump has started to intimate that he wants to serve a third term. How realistic of a possibility are you taking that right now? And what are you doing? You're out here, you're demonstrating. Are you doing anything to try and organize to maybe prevent that outcome?
Well, last time we tried to joke our heads off about how he wasn't gonna, but the reality is he got into a term again. And I think it's because we weren't taking him seriously enough. The thing is, you can be as dumb as a rock and somehow still win, apparently. Sorry, I just shouldn't have insulted him. But you've seen his decline. Could you re-ask the question for me real quick?
I was just like, how are you working? I get the sense that you are against the Trump administration. You just called them fascist. Trump wants to serve a third term. Are you doing anything? Like, you're clearly out at protests. Like, you're doing something. But I mean, is there anything that you are prepared to do to try and anything more that you are prepared to do to try and prevent a third Trump administration? Like, are you organizing anything along those lines?
Well, as an individual, I usually show up to any event I see around. But something as an individual I do is try to keep your friends accountable in all this. Try to make sure they know what's going on. Try to make sure your friends actually go out and vote this year and vote in their own interests. Not some lie about how he's going to lower, because Trump is lying. He's been lying about lowering food prices. He's been lying about lowering property prices. We need some real truth, and we need actual plans from Democrats and all the other parties. And I think one of my plans is to try and get my friends out to vote.
Understood. Do you think you'll have another opportunity to vote yet?
I do believe so.
Optimism. I appreciate it, Dusty. Thank you very much for the time and for letting me talk. I appreciate it.
Thank you for letting me practice.
Yep.
Interviewing again.
Of course.
Trying to make me look good.
All right. So, I'm going to start to draw things to a close, but before I do, I want to I want to say one more time that there are no other news outlets that are physically chasing down Border Patrol here on the streets of Chicago right now. I mean, we went sprinting after them, try and give you a look at the passion that's on display from some of the members here of the Chicagoland area who are running. We're running to keep up with them, to show you the story as it's happening, as Greg Bovino is driving out of here after his big show of force. All of his big demonstration of everything he wants to do here in Chicago, all of, the tear gas that he feels so confident to lob into crowds of protesters, confident to come up here in front of a judge and claim that everything he's doing is above board. We're going out into the community to show you what's really happening. We are chasing down CBP vehicles to show you what is really happening here on the streets of Chicago, putting our bodies literally on the line here, getting tear gassed, all of it out here to show you the truth. And it's expensive to do that. So if you can, please go to statuscoup.com/join, $5 a month. I'm eternally grateful. John is eternally grateful. Our whole team is eternally grateful for the support that you are able to offer us and give us in this moment as we are living here on the ground in Chicago, watching an authoritarian playbook play out on these streets in real time, seeing up close, showing you, hearing from the victims, the family members of these folks who are being disappeared right now by this administration. if that's a service that is valuable to you, because the corporate press is not out here doing that right now. There's no other camera running alongside us down the street. We're in so many of these neighborhoods where we are the only outlet there, and it is expensive to do it. So if you value what we're doing, please, statuscoup.com/join, 16 cents a day, goes to support independent journalism, which is so important in this moment. Okay. Before we go, I want to be sure that I give a shout out to the folks who are supporting us financially, to know that you are so appreciated by our team here. So first, our super chats that we got during today's stream. $5 from Gris. Thank you, Gris. We appreciate that. Sci-Fi by Adam Crowley gave us $10.28. Said, thank you, Status Coup, for being on the ground. Freedom isn't free, and neither is a free press. Thank you again. And that is a great way to sum it up. Freedom isn't free unless you fight for it the way the people of Chicago are fighting for their freedom every day here on the ground. And yeah, it is not free for us to do this work out here. It's very expensive. So thank you. Thank you for that support. Hello Kitty gave us $2 and says a 50-character limit is rough. So thank you, Status Coup News. Thank you, Hello Kitty says. We appreciate it. Fly Jumper Fly gave us $2. He said, more imp than ever. People stay calm, so court sees all. Thank you very much for your support. Thomas L. DKK gave us $20. Said, keep fighting against pedophile Nazi Trump. I mean, that is a sentiment that we saw and heard on the signs down here about pointing to the distraction that a lot of folks feel. A lot of this like blatant authoritarian is here. All of these tactics that are being employed are all about causing real
Iba kita akan mengukur